Hey everyone, I'm Carolyn from Tranquilmentor, and welcome to our channel. Today we'll be making a porch leaner welcome sign with a 9¼ inch by 60-inch piece of pine from Home Depot. First, we stained the entire board front and back with Gunstock by Varathane and marked off 6 inches on the top and 6 inches on the bottom. And here we are in light burn, and I am still very new to light burn and only have touched the tip of the iceberg. So this is what kind of the way I work with things for now. And my board, originally I said it was 60 inches long. So if you look at my work area is going to be about, it's about 17 inches by 33.5. So this board being 60 inches is going to be way too big, of course, for me to pass through, which I wouldn't need to anyway. I'm just going to be making letters. So I'm going in here and I'm putting in the dimensions of my board and zooming out to show about what we're looking at here. So if I subtract 6 inches from the top and 6 inches from the bottom, I have about 48 inches there. So I'm going to take that 48 inches for now, and I'm going to work with that. And I want to put the word welcome. And here what I'm doing is I'm just changing the dimensions of the board, changing the height. And next I'm going to look for a font. I do want something that's very bold. I'm going to go up into the font box here for the height. I'm going to start at 3 inches. I'm in Arial now, but I'm just going to get that W typed out. We'll take a look and try to just get the proportion of what we're talking about here. So we'll go up now to 4 and take a look at what 4 looks like. And we are still in Arial. I'm going to take a look around for a font. And what I like about this is that you can go through and you can look at all the fonts and see what they're going to look like. I'm going to choose Times New Roman because it's just what I wanted. I am going to go, and since I haven't done this before, I'm not really too sure how to get started. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I can't really get it next to it, and I do want it to be up and down. So I'm going to do as I would in a Word document, just click a space after, click another space after, and then I'll get my word, and then I'm going to move it over. And I look at it, what it's going to look like on the board, and here's where I'll get an idea of perspective here, or proportion we should say. And I am supposed to be holding down, or actually probably not holding down any keys at all. I was hitting Control and I was hitting Alt, and that changes everything. I really just had to pull out from one of the sides to get what I was looking for. So I've got it, enlarged to how exactly I want it to fit onto the board. And there's, of course, there's not the 6 inches on the top and bottom at this point. I just wanted to isolate it and look. And then here is the work area that we're going to be working with. And they can't all fit. Now, my piece of board that I have is about 36 inches long and about 16 inches wide. And it's white or light maple that I got from a cabinet store. And you'll be able to see that later. But I'm going to make a copy of this welcome just so that I can put it in here and break it up. But I'm going to leave that welcome out to the side untouched in case I need it again. Now here I'm trying to figure out how to get these letters broken up. I tried a few things. I realize I just need to take a look here and take my time and figure out the best way to do this. So as you can see, I am trying, and I'm not being able to individually select these letters. So basically they're not like objects. So then I'm deciding convert to path, and let's see. Perfect. Now I can choose a small amount of letters here, and I'm going to have enough room to cut those out. And I'm just positioning these next to it, and I'll work on getting them as close as I can to not waste the maple that I have. It is from a cabinet shop. I think a piece of it is probably about, I want to say it's probably about 4 feet or so. You know, when I purchased it from there, 4 feet, and I can't remember how wide it is, but it's cut into pieces here so that I can work into my laser. And I typically cut them about 36 inches long to about 16 inches wide for my cabinet wood there that's in the maple. And here I'm just positioning everything so I don't, you know, since I'm very new, I try not to waste any space. I probably could even get them closer if I tried, but I'm always trying to conserve this space and conserve the extra wood, because I can do smaller projects on it later. And I want to say, I want my sign, I've been seeing a lot of these signs say welcome-ish. So I want to add on the ISH, and I'm going to put that below the welcome in that 6-inch area. So I've decided we're going to go up in here. We're going to make this font a script font. And I'm just going through, taking a look, and I do have this sped up too. I can't actually look that fast through the fonts, but I'm going to go through and take a look and see just what to find. And I settled on Hello Valentika. I think this is perfect. And I'm zooming in a little bit, I'm moving over, and I'm taking a look at how that came out. I want to make sure nothing is pieced together, that it's one shape. All right, and that looks good. I'm just going to get them selected here. I didn't really group them at this point. I probably could have, but I just didn't. And mainly what I'm doing is just taking a look and looking at my measurements up top to see if I'm going to fit everything on that piece of maple. And the maple, by the way, is very thin. It's 1/8 of an inch. And then now, because I have the welcome all laid out, I'm just going to take a look and see what it's going to look like. Now later when I cut, I'll make a new document and I won't have that in there. I know you can hide layers, but it just doesn't seem to work for me for some reason. So I'm just showing how that piece would look. Even though it's one whole entire piece of 60 inches, I'm just going to copy that square and put it at the top, and that's where my bow and my burlap will go, and my raffia. So that's the space that I put aside for that, and I think it's going to look really nice, and I'm happy with the way that this is turning out. And then I'm going to put my ish back and zoom back in, make sure everything's okay, and then we'll save that and just stick it in the Porch Signs laser folder. And here I'm at the laser and I'm doing a framing here just to see about where we're going to end up and how much wood I'm going to have left over. So that looks really good. Now it's probably homed itself. And here I'm cutting out the letters. I just have it set up where it's not absolute coordinates or anything. I just did user origin and placed it where I wanted it. Now, when I was positioning these letters, since I didn't do any kind of template or a jig or anything, I really kind of had not a tough time with it, but I just probably wouldn't do this again. But I was looking for some measurements along the side here where I took the biggest letter and I just measured from side to side. And then here, before I do anything, I've got this natural wood stain by Varathane, and I want these letters to still stay light, but I want them to have a little tinge of color. And I used that painter's tape to keep the dot on the I together. And I just went through and I put a first coat on. I mean, it really doesn't look like much, but it does, once it dries, I'll do a second coat, and it does give it a little bit of a tinge of color, and that's really what I'm looking for. I didn't really want to make them white, so I figured we'd do that. Now I went and I did put a line down the middle of the board, and then here what we're doing is we're measuring side to side and doing the best we can to get this. We have the 45 and that has an edge on it, and I've got my CA glue, Mitre Repel, on Amazon, and we're using a combination of CA glue and wood glue here. And then as we take the 45-degree angle there, we can use that to patiently put everything in the middle. Now I went and I put like a tiny little pencil mark and measured a lot of the letters just to kind of get a center. It wasn't perfect, but it did line up, and with a lot of patience and just taking our time, we were able to get everything lined up in the middle. And next time, maybe the paper that is like shopping bags, the old shopping bags, that paper that comes on a roll, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but maybe that paper would have been good to try to cut that out as a template on the laser first, and then help with laying out the letters. I'm not sure, but that was the way that, this is our first sign, and that was the way that we thought to do this. But I think there might be other ways, and I think a jig type of situation might be better next time. But I really do like the way that the letters look with that wood and the contrast of the gunmetal stain. All right, and then just some pressure. And then here we'll go a little bit more into depth. We had decided on a 3-inch spacing all the way through the sign, and we did come down a couple inches too to get started, so it wasn't right up against it. And then we'll take our letter, it's marked in the middle, and then we'll center it. And this is what we have now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry overnight. We've got our ish down. And then tomorrow what I'll do is I'm going to take one of those foam Dollar Tree sanders, and just by hand take a little bit of that off the edges, a little bit of the stain off the edges, just so it looks like it has a little bit of distress to it, but I wasn't going to go back over anything. And then here we are. What I used for the ribbon was I went into Kittl and I used AI and I made a pattern, and then I cut all of them out and I sublimated. You'll see that burlap ribbon on the right, the top. I sublimated, it's 100% polyester. I sublimated that pattern all onto the ribbon and made a bow. And then underneath I used that burlap. And I just love the way that it came out. There's a little bit of raffia under the top bow and a little bit of raffia on the bottom. Now I don't have anything on the back here yet, but I can put something on it later. But I love it next to the star outside with a little bit of greenery behind it. And it's going to just look so pretty for fall, and I'll be able to swap that bow out when I need to. And maybe Halloween, something with bats or orange, or maybe something on the back. But I am so happy, especially with even the sublimation on the ribbon, because I'm able to get my own ribbon, my own design. If you make a porch leaner with your laser, share the inspiration and tag us on Instagram or visit us on Facebook at Tranquilmentor. All you have to do is send a friend request to me and I'll accept it, and then we'll be able to see your beautiful creation. And if you are already one of our subscribers, welcome back and thanks for watching our video today. And if you're not a subscriber, welcome to our channel. And if you would be so kind to subscribe and like our video, it helps YouTube notice us a little more, and it supports our channel and helps us to grow. And as always, Thanks for watching our video today, and we will see you in the next one.